Hello students and welcome to today's daily quiz presented to you by BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Without any further delay, let us take a look at the questions. Which of the following statements are true about the UDAN scheme? It is a regional connectivity scheme under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. It aims to provide connectivity to only the unserved airports of the country. The scheme has a provision to increase international connectivity as well. So we have taken this question because according to a report in PIB, 73 airports they have been operationalized under the UDAN scheme until January 2023. So what is this scheme? UDAN, which is an acronym for Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, is a regional connectivity scheme that was launched in October 2016. So what was the need for this scheme? It was because before the launch of this scheme, 65% of the air connectivity and 61% of the air traffic of India was focused only on the 6 metro cities. So through this scheme, the government wanted to connect the small and medium cities with big cities through air services. And its target was to enable 1 crore passengers to travel by air every year. In fact, this flagship scheme of the Ministry of Civil Aviation was also selected for Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration 2020 under the category of Innovation in Central Agencies. So apart from the domestic market, there is also an international UDAN through which the government wants to connect the second and the third tier cities with the international locations as well. And also through this scheme, government not just wants to connect the unserved airports, that is airports where there are no operations of the flights, but also the underserved airports which do not have more than one flight per day. So over here, what should be the correct answer? This is correct. It is a regional connectivity scheme under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. This is correct. Yes, it has a provision, that is international UDAN, to increase international connectivity as well. This, however, is incorrect. It aims to connect both the underserved as well as the unserved airports of the country. So over here, our correct answer is C. Now the next question. Identify the correct statements. Retail inflation data is released by the National Statistical Office. Core inflation includes inflation in only food and the fuel sector. Now this question has been taken because according to this news article, the retail inflation in India has risen to a 3-month high of 6.52% in the month of January. Now this has breached the limit that is set by the RBI, that is 4 plus minus 2%, within which the retail inflation, which is calculated through the consumer price index, should be held within. Now this article also talks about core inflation, that is inflation that does not include volatile items like food and fuel. So core inflation also remained sticky at 6.1% in January. And this data, it was released by the National Statistical Office. So over here, this is a correct statement. Yes, retail inflation is released by NSO. However, this is a wrong statement. Core inflation excludes, does not include, it excludes the food and fuel sector. So our correct answer over here is A. Now the next question. Which of the following is a constitutional body? National Commission for Women, National Commission for Scheduled Castes, National Commission for Backward Classes. We have taken this question because the NCST, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, they have taken up the case of minor help that was tortured in Gurugram by a couple. So NCST is a constitutional body which got the constitutional status after it was separated from the NCSC way back in the year 2003-4. NCST was separately created on 19th February 2004 under the Article 338A through the 89th Constitutional amendment. So over here, which of the following is a constitutional body? This is a constitutional body which has been enshrined in the constitution under the article 338. 338A, it created NCST. This is also now a constitutional body after the 102nd Amendment Act that provided it a separate constitutional status. This, however, is not a constitutional body. Can you in the comments tell us that this statutory body has been created under which act of the parliament? So over here our correct answer would be B. Now the next question. Which of the following are correctly matched? Copyright protects the literary and artistic works. Patents protect the inventions, and trademarks, they protect the goods or services of an enterprise. Now we have taken this question because lately there have been a lot of copyright cases against various filmmakers, against various artists by other artists. Right now, the Kantara movie, it is also undergoing a copyright row. So that is why it is important to know what are the intellectual properties and what are they protecting. Now first of all, what exactly do you understand by intellectual property? It refers to creations of the mind, like inventions, like literary artistic works, any designs, symbols, names, images which have been created by the mind. Now, there are various types of intellectual properties. We have copyrights, which protect the artistic work and the literary work. So, they can protect books, music, paintings, sculptures, films, computer programs, advertisements, and so on. Then we have the patents. Patents protect any novel kind of work, that is, any invention. It provides the patent owner a right to decide on how to use the invention, how others can use the invention. Then we have trademarks, which distinguish the goods and services of one enterprise from those of other enterprise. For example, if you see the trademark of McDonald's, then you'll be able to differentiate the products of McDonald's from that of, say, Burger King or Cafe Coffee Day. Then we have another type of intellectual property known as industrial designs. They might consist of three-dimensional features like shape or surface of an article, or two-dimensional features like patterns, lines, or colors of any article. Then we have geographical indicators which certify that a particular product is coming from a particular geographical location. And then we have the trade secrets. They are the IP rights which are given on confidential information. This information may be sold or licensed by the IP holder. So over here, this is correct. This is also correct. It protects the inventions, and this is also correct. So our correct answer here is D. Now the PYQ. In case of which one of the following biogeochemical cycles, the weathering of rocks is the main source of release of nutrients to enter the cycle. So we have the options: carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle, and sulfur cycle. Now there are two types of biogeochemical cycles. We have gaseous and then we have sedimentary. Now carbon cycle and nitrogen cycle, they are both gaseous in nature. So that is why this cannot apply on them. So these are eliminated. Then we have phosphorus and sulfur cycles. Both are sedimentary cycles. In sulfur cycle, nutrients are released by weathering of rocks through runoff or decomposition of organic matter. It is mostly sedimentary, but two of its major components, that is hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide, are also gaseous in nature. So this cycle is not mainly dependent upon weathering of rocks for release of nutrients in the cycle. So the correct answer is C, that is phosphorus, where the nutrients are released mainly by weathering of rocks, because phosphorus, it mainly occurs in the earth's crust in phosphate rocks. So our correct answer is C. Now we come to the fact of the day, which is related to Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Now, this framework, it was launched in the year 2022 by the US President Joe Biden in Tokyo. It has, apart from USA, India, Australia, Brunei, Fiji, Indonesia, Japan, Republic of Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, which are located in the Indo-Pacific region. Now, this framework has been established to advance resilience, sustainability, inclusiveness, economic growth, fairness, and competitiveness of all the included economies. The partners under this framework, they aim to contribute to cooperation, stability, prosperity, development, and most importantly, peace within the area, within the region where they are situated. Now, very important thing to note is that these partners, these members of IPEF, they represent 40% of the global GDP and 28% of the global goods and services trade. So, this becomes a very important economic framework of the world. Now, there are four pillars over which the discussions underneath this framework will take place. One is trade, then we have supply chains, then we have clean energy, decarbonization, and infrastructure. And finally, the fourth pillar is tax and anti corruption. So, this framework is a very holistic framework. The topics of discussion, they are not just focused on economy but also on sustainability of the economies. Now, recently, India hosted the special negotiation for pillars 2, 3, and 4 of this framework between 8 to 11 February in New Delhi. So that is all about the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, and with that we come to an end to our daily quiz. So if you like the video, do not forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your daily dose of knowledge. So thank you very much and have a very good day ahead.